Hi, this is the Disabled Daddy, and I wanted to let you know why I think you should join my channel and follow me on my journey with Parkinson's to help other people understand the illness, understand how I work with my children, and how I love being a father. So my journey started officially when I was technically born because both my parents had the same Parkinson's gene that was diseased, which caused my Parkinson's to be genetic. Now, most people who have Parkinson's, basically, it's a non-diagnosable disease where primarily elderly people get it. Well, my symptoms really started showing up since I was younger, but I didn't really realize I had the disease until 2009 when I was diagnosed officially to a blood test. So my journey started really, I think my Parkinson's came to be when I was in high school. I was very active, but I always ran kind of differently. And I was always an athlete from that perspective, but I was kind of different. And then when I went to college, I realized I shook a lot. I had a lot of shakes, and it was just probably because I drank so much. I was in college partying with my friends, and the funny thing was that they would sit back and say, "Look at Darren eat soup," because I would shake and I couldn't get the spoon to my mouth, but everyone thought it was because I was drinking so much, and so did I. And then the journey went on, and struggled with some symptoms, but I had no idea. And then that fateful day on 9/11, I was at the World Trade Centers when it happened. I was one of the lucky ones to survive. 13 people I knew didn't, who I was with pretty much the night before. It was hard, but it kind of got me to the point where I struggled with post-traumatic stress syndrome, PTSD. And I went to a doctor in Rhode Island where he looked at my symptoms and said, you might have Parkinson's symptoms, and put me on some medication. And the medication was bad, to say the least. Caused me to have extreme compulsive behaviors, stuff I had no idea. So I never gambled before. I never did things like go to strip clubs or do crazy stuff like I was doing. I was mowing my lawn like 4 times a day. I played golf 36, 54 holes at my country club a day. I never done this before. I never gambled in my life. I never went to strip clubs like that. And I was like, my life just fell apart. I had to reset. And all of a sudden, I went through some times where I was down on life. I didn't even think I'd survive. A few times I tried not to survive. And then all of a sudden, when I thought my life was over and I thought I just flew off the edge and couldn't survive, the FDA wound up announcing that they had pulled this drug temporarily from the market because it caused compulsive behaviors. And what happened then was, they went to a class action lawsuit. This wasn't me. My behaviors weren't the ones of someone who was in control of what they were doing because I was impacted by these powerful drugs. And 4 children total. A beautiful 21-year-old daughter, a wonderful 16-year-old son, and then 2 little guys, 6 and 4, who they're all the love of my life. And that's why with my illness, what I try to do is, be a great father, be a great friend, first and foremost to my kids, but it's hard. And now this channel is actually my way of basically telling them my journey and showing my little ones specifically how I deal with my illness and kind of explain to them what it is, because I never had the opportunity to really do that with my other kids. And you might be wondering as well, if you have Parkinson's and it's genetic, how can you have more kids? Because that was a big fear of mine. I was like, oh my God, my kid's going to get Parkinson's, because it's genetic. Well, lo and behold, I think it's a 0.035% chance that my kids have Parkinson's. And guess what? We all know that, this is a disease that has been horrible for a lot of people for a long time. And with the help of the Michael J. Fox Foundation, I honestly think that we're going to have this thing cured. Not in my lifetime, hopefully, but I doubt it. But at some time in the future when these kids upcoming or people who have this illness will have a solution on how to solve this and live a happy and healthy life. So that's where I'm at. I right now sit back and I've just actually retired, gone on disability. I was on disability for 6 years before when I was younger, and I couldn't work. I couldn't do it. I barely could move. I was lost, struggling with it. And I fought hard. I fought my speech. I fought on my movements. I got to the point where I came back. I went back off disability. I was so proud of myself. I worked hard for 4 or 5 more years, and I was in sales. So, which is kind of crazy. You think someone with Parkinson's, it would be a tough job to do, but I loved it. And right now I just sat back and said, it's time to focus on my health, focus on my family, and kind of reach out in this channel to show you guys that, anyone with a disability, anyone with an illness, that there is future, and that we know every day is hard, but at the same time, I kind of live my life by one example and one method and one, I guess, motto you would say. And that is that if everyone was to throw their problems into the street, you'd probably take yours back. Now, if you think about that right now, what does that really mean? I mean, there's always someone out there who's got worse than I do. I mean, there's tons of people. I mean, people are dying every day who are perfectly healthy. And this journey of mine is something where you guys are going to help me and I'm going to help you, hopefully. But, you know, I've overcome 9/11. I've overcome that drug medication. I've been in some dark places in my life, and now I'm at the point where I'm in a great space. But it's a hard space. Every day I've got to find a way to win the day, and that's kind of like what I call it. For example, like today I struggled. I couldn't really get motivated. I dropped the kids off at school. Got going. It's kind of wet and rainy and cold here. And I was just down. I said, you know what, let me put this video up. Let me talk to people and get myself going for the day. The problem with this illness specifically is that people look at their future or what's happening with their lives, or that it's a dead-end street. And you're not going to win that battle. You're not. I mean, the fact is, you look at life that way, you're done. In any sense of the word, live for the day, because we don't have tomorrow. We don't even know what the next hour is going to be. 9/11 showed that to me. I mean, I lost friends that I was with the day before at a bar. And you sit back and you're like, wow, I survived. And by the grace of God, I did. But it was an eye-opening experience for me where I had 3 brain surgeries after that. I've had 17 total surgeries. I've been, my life's kind of fun from a lot of different ways, but I'm smiling. I'm living life the best I can. But hopefully you guys will start to hear my journey, understand, that there is hope. There is a challenge, but, God is great, and we have a good chance to beat this thing in the future. But right now, all I can do is share my story and help people learn that with the help of my children, show them how their father can persevere. And maybe I'm not like every father right now can provide the way most men or women do for this matter, but I can provide a path for my children to show them that you can overcome challenges, that you never give up, that you're going to have hard days, but at the same time, with the love and support of the people around you, you can beat it and you can win the day. You might not be able to beat every day, but you walk away from life and you say, you know what? I'm getting up the next day, I'm going to make it work. So to everyone out there who's either a caregiver or someone who's got disabilities, my message is just, stay strong, because it's as hard on the caregivers as it is on the people with the illness. So thanks for taking time to listen to this. And if you want to hear more about what the drug was that put me in that situation, I'd be happy to have a conversation and put up a video if I had enough questions about it. But and then if any other stories about 9/11 that you guys are interested about, I've gotten to the point where I can talk about it. It was hard for a long time. Life is hard, but stay strong.